Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really crucial and, let's be honest, sometimes stressful part of real estate, the home appraisal. We're going to pull back the curtain on what actually goes down so you know exactly what you're in for.
Right? The whole idea can be a little nerve-wracking. You've got a total stranger coming over to put a price tag on what's probably your biggest investment. So what are they really looking at when they walk through the door? And what happens after they leave? Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll cover what an appraisal even is. Then, what happens before they show up. We'll walk through the on-site inspection itself, then see how they actually calculate the value. And finally, we'll look at the report and what the outcome means for you.
All right, first things first, let's really get a handle on what a home appraisal actually is, and just as important, what it is not.
And right there, that's the key word you got to remember, opinion. An appraisal isn't some fixed scientific number. It's a highly educated professional opinion of what your home is worth today based on a whole lot of data.
And this, right here, is where a ton of people get tripped up. Just think of it like this. An appraiser focuses on value for the bank. A home inspector focuses on the condition for the buyer. One answers, what's it worth? The other answers, what's wrong with it? Totally different jobs.
So let's talk about the homework phase, because, a huge chunk of the work actually happens before the appraiser even sets foot in your house.
Yeah, long before you hear that doorbell ring, the appraiser is already playing detective. They're digging through public records, checking property tax info, and, most importantly, they're researching what similar homes in your neighborhood have sold for recently. These are the famous comps, and they are building a case for your home's value before they even see it.
Okay, now for the main event, the part everyone actually pictures when they think of an appraisal, the walkthrough. This is where they come to your property to verify all their research and see things with their own eyes.
And you know what? Here's the first surprise. The actual on-site visit is way faster than you probably think. For a pretty standard house, they're in and out in about 30 to 60 minutes. They're not there to hang out, they're on a mission.
So in that short time, they're like a data collecting machine. They're measuring the outside to confirm the square footage, snapping photos of every room, the front, the back, the street, and they're jotting down notes to confirm all the key details. How many beds, how many baths, all of it.
So what are they looking at? Well, they start big. Think of it as the bones of the property. They're looking at the foundation, the roof, the major systems like your heating and plumbing. Then they zoom out to the site itself. What's the neighborhood like? What school district are you in? It's all part of the puzzle.
Then they zoom in on the details. And really, it's all about a balancing act. On one hand, they're looking for the good stuff, the upgrades. Did you put in a new kitchen, a new roof, got a great fireplace or a finished basement? Awesome. But they're also noting the negatives, like any clear signs of neglect, a leaky faucet, stuff like that. They need the full picture.
All right, so the appraiser leaves, right? But the job is far from over. Now comes the real brain work, back at the office, where they turn all those photos and notes into a final, defensible number.
And this, you guys, is the absolute heart of the entire process. I'm talking about the comps. Your home's value isn't based on what you paid for it or some online estimate. It is almost entirely determined by what actual buyers have recently paid for homes that are very similar to yours right in your neighborhood. The market gets the final say.
But it's not as simple as just looking at the price tags. Oh no. The real magic is in the adjustments. They'll take a comp and say, okay, this one sold for $500K, but it has one less bathroom than your house, so I'll add value to your place. Or, your house has a 2-car garage and the comp only has one. Let's adjust for that. It's all about creating a true apples-to-apples comparison.
Okay, the numbers have been crunched, the comparisons have been made. Let's talk about the final report, the thing you've been waiting for, and what happens after you get it.
The final report isn't just a single page with a number on it. It's this pretty beefy document, often 10, 15 pages or more. It's got photos, a sketch of the floor plan, a map, and the really important part, a grid that shows you the exact comps they used and every single adjustment they made. It shows all their work.
Okay, but what about the big, scary what if? What if the appraisal comes in low? First thing, don't panic. You've got options. You might be able to renegotiate the price, the buyer could bring more cash to the table, or if you think there are actual errors in the report, you can challenge the appraisal. It's not necessarily the end of the deal. So with all that in mind, what can you actually do to prepare for this? Look, you can't change the housing market, right? But you can totally control how your home presents itself. Tidy up. Fix that little leak. Make sure they can actually get into the basement and attic. And here's a pro tip. Have a simple sheet ready with a list of your major improvements, with dates and costs if you have them. It just makes their job easier and ensures nothing gets missed.
So when you think about it, an appraisal is really just telling your home's story, but with market data as the language. And now that you know the process, you can look at your own home and see it through their eyes, and really understand the story of its value in the market today.